Right. Okay. Great. お願いします。
お願いします。
Okay, good. So just do some a bit. Okay, great. Swing with the arms. Looking at the wave through this one. Second. Okay, we just take it to the hips, just circling the hips. Changing. Good in the knees, and then straighten. Dropping down, a little bit of pressure against the legs with the arms. Right. Back up, circling the knees. And changing. Bring the foot off the ground, circling the ankle. Straight into the toes. Good, bring the foot up and then just working the hip left and right
And rotating outside to the side. Good. And then circling like a more of a figure of 8 with the foot. Loosening the hip. The knee relaxed. Changing the direction. Figure of 8. Shaking it out. To the side, circling the ankle. Good straighten the toes. Bring the foot up, twisting against the hip. Take it to figure of 8. Change in direction. Shifting it out. It's going to move about 45 degrees with the knees. Drop it into the hips. A bit of pressure if you can out to the legs. Okay, bring the hands onto the knees, rolling through, looking over the shoulder. Good, dropping down onto one leg. This side. And again. Change. And dripping down, hands up. Sides. Okay, dropping into the front hip, bring the foot down. Release it. Drop back into it, just a little bit of a twist of the body. To the back. Okay. Drop it back, release it, and then placing the opposite hand down. Reaching up with the other side. Slowly release it, changing the leg. Release it, rock it back in, and then add twist to the back. Release it. Dropping and bringing the hand down, reaching up, sinking deep into the hip. Good. Releasing it, bringing the knees back, so you're on like a tabletop. working here the shoulder, so you're just playing with curves in the shoulder blades and then spreading them away from each other. So keeping the elbows extended, hands pressing into the ground. Just mobilizing the scapulas. Up and down. Good. And then from here, taking this into back bend, looking up, and then curling the spine up, tucking the tailbone in, tucking the head. Reversing it. Mobilize the spine. Good. And then from here, just going to add a little bit of a rocking movement. So you drop back into it here, and then drop into it here. Up. So not quite dropping down into the body, but just curling the spine here, and then bring it out. A little bit of flexibility with the elbows. Line's going to bend. Yeah. Just play within this range of motion, swinging the body through. But yeah, really focusing on the spine being nice and flexible. And just using the motion to open it up. Good, and make it a little bit deeper. Drop back into this position, so the hips drop to the heels. Yeah. And then from here, coming up, bring the chest low to the floor. Yeah. And then come up. You can drop the hips and make the hips touch the ground. And you're coming up more like a couple. And from here, you just want to come back. Drop down to the hips. Drop through. Chest close to the ground. And just want to flexibly move through the positions. Connection for the whole way. And you can stay at that level, or if you want, you can bring the knees up off the ground, bring the feet back, and you do the same positions. You're just off the ground, that's it. You've only got the feet and the hands up. Back, under, through, draw up, and then come through. Sink back. Or you can keep to the knees. Or you can do something in between where you kind of drop the hips down and the stage, and then come back out. Stretch back up. If you want, keep everything off the ground. Just a few. Yeah. Good. And then the last thing here, just dropping up through the feet, pressing up through the feet, and just treading down the back of the heels. Good, and then stretching it back, holding it here. Good, walking the feet towards the hands. Let the weight settle down, drop the head. Great bend in the knees and top. Okay, great. Great. Okay, perfect. We're going to do some exercises. If you've got a wall, this is ideal for it. So, or you can also use the floor if you're not going to kind of clear wall. I'm going to show this. Let's see. Let's see. So the first one of this is, let's see. The key with this one is you're going to, if you just imagine this as the wall, and I'll show you against the wall next. You're going to spread the fingers, and you just want the toes, the feet together. You're just going to gently fall towards the wall, and you just make contact here, and just push yourself back off it. So just something like this. Into the wall. You basically come into the wall, bring yourself up onto the toes. You come up, just up to the first knuckle, and then just press yourself up. Come in, press yourself off. And then push yourself off. You're kind of falling towards the wall, just catching yourself with the fingers. Coming back. Back. Coming back. Coming back. Coming back. That's you can try. So. Good. Good. That's it. Good. Good. So we'll do another one here. You're just going to stand shoulder width apart with it. So you want to, in this case again, extend through the fingertip, and you're going to go into this kind of position, kind of drawing the hands together here. Not quite like a claw position, but you want to put strength into the fingertips here, like this. You're just going to move to this position. You go from here, draw the elbows in here, and then draw them out this way. Draw the elbows in, draw the elbows out. Drawing the elbows towards the body and spreading them out. Drawing in, drawing out, and all the time keep that kind of tension in the hand. Drawing it in, drawing it out, and in, drawing it out this way. Think about closing the hands, but at the same time you're keeping the extension in the fingertips. So it's kind of tight, but at the same time open. Which is a bit strange, but that's it. That's it. Draw in, press out. In, press out. So. Great. We'll do one more. This is a little bit like when we do the swinging exercise. There's just two modifications. Again, you keep this kind of grip in the hand, so this kind of tightening of the hand together. And what you do in this case is you come up onto the toes. So you can get yourself into the toes. bring the arms up. Again, that kind of squeezing through the hand. And then you're going to find that kind of swing, dropping the hips back, down, and then coming up. All the time keeping that kind of tension in the hands as you drop in. And also tension in the legs as well as you come down. So keeping the legs active. Drop in. So you've got that strong connection in the hands, but just like the shoulders release. Hips, shoulders release. And the feet and the hands stay nice and connected. Nice and strong. So you've always got this feeling of kind of close, as if you want to kind of close the hand, but you're keeping that kind of shape in it so it's extended, but the feeling of closing. That's it.
We step on our toes, right, Michael?
Yeah, this one's up on the toes, and that's just to kind of engage the feet as well. So there was feeling of engage and drop, and staying on the toes all the time. So. Right. Okay, perfect. Take a walk-in. Okay, we'll just take this to swinging exercise again. So similar, this time keep the feet flat on the ground. You're coming up to the top, and then again releasing the hips and the shoulders, nice and relaxed. Engaging with the arc of the sword. Just dropping the hips, relaxing the shoulders. So another way you can look at this as well as this kind of arcing, swinging out and down. You can think of this as like an opening and closing movement. So you've got this real clear opening movement at the top, the shoulders open, your armpits open, and then you're drawing them down into the center. So as if the hips are pulling them down. This. So this kind of feeling. So what you're looking for is this kind of big open position, very clear. And then from here, you're closing the body to the front. The key thing for us is with these closing movements that the back stays full. So you're opening the back of the body here, and then you're closing to the front, but keep that sense that the back stays full. So the main issue with the sword work is the tendency to close the back. let it kind of arc over. So use this position at the top where you're really open, clear, and then close the movement down. But keeping the back full all the time. It's full all the time. So that's it. Right, and then just find the focus in the cuts. You're going to reach the back again, you've got that opening, and then you're closing and settling and squeezing into the grip with it. So that. Again, let the project be that arc down, and that kind of closing of the structure. Then add into it that focus into the grip. Okay, good. One of the main problems here with the grip, with the sword, with stopping it, is that idea of kind of stopping the sword. So there's a tendency to stop it by doing something like this, by kind of pulling up on the backside, something like that. So this is kind of okay, but what you'll notice happens is this: it goes to the shoulders. So the shoulders come up, and then it pulls me out the center line. So think in this case, you'll hear this in Japan. It's sort of described like a kind of squeezing of the hands, or like a wringing into the grip. So you've got this kind of feeling. Think about if you grab someone's arm and you do like a rotadori grip, that use that same kind of movement. So my hands will be a bit close together, but I don't want to grip in a way where I do something like this, where the shoulders get raised, so the hands are doing like opposing things. Think about the hands working together and basically squeezing together this way. So let's see. It's like if I've got something like this, I want the hands to go together. I don't want the hands kind of do this kind of action. I want the hands to do this together. So I'm kind of squeezing the grip out, but I don't want them to do something like that.
And also no moving in that direction.
Yeah, and this is happening, but I don't want to do that extreme where it's going to go that into the shoulder. You see that where it kind of closes the whole grip out. So I want that to happen. It's just going to happen in the forearm. See that?
Yeah.
So that happens, but it's just there, but it doesn't go so far. It travels to the elbows and the shoulders. So that kind of squeezing thing, which you see quite a lot, it's there, but it's
and that's how
yeah. So that's the kind of thing you want. So but you want the main thing is that squeezing into the sword is grounding the sword cut, and that it's not splitting the body up at the top, especially in the shoulders. So
it's like more like a forearm type of contraction.
yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, in a way, I don't want anything which is gonna do that to the body. The key thing with the grip, and you'll notice, so with gripping as well. If I grip someone's arm, I need this to be strong, but I need the connection to the hip. So the tendency is to grip, and this goes to here, right? So it goes to the arm, and then I basically lock. I have power, but I have a really fragile power in a way. So I want that power. I'm actually connected into the ground. So it's that connection into the ground, which is, this is really what you're looking for. And this is a useful skill of the 𝒂𝒂𝒿, which is transferable to other parts of the syllabus. Great. So take this now into the first degree. So working with the right hand, come into here, and what you'll play now with is this drawing the foot up. Yeah, finding that kind of again that opening position, and then dropping into the hip this way. So connecting now that pattern into working with a hand. So opening the body at the top, finding that arc in the cut, and finding that connection in the grip.
Hello.
Great, we'll take this into a Zengo. So working front and back, right side, and then you're releasing up to the top of the head and dropping in. So there's a nice relationship between the feet and the hands in this movement. So as you anchor the one foot and release the other, you're also doing a similar thing with the hands. So just focus on this. What you're looking for here is you've got both hands fixed on the walking and both feet also here. Now, when you release the foot, you're also releasing this hand slightly. So this hand allows the sword to kind of mobilize through it. So in the same way, if I grip the sword here tightly and then I release the foot, I end up with this kind of movement. So it draws the shoulders up because I'm basically locked onto the sword. So give yourself freedom as you release the right foot here. Start to release the right hand as well. So it allows you that freedom to drop into it. Same on the back side. As you release the left foot, do the same, but I'm going to release the same. Release the left hand this way. So release here, release here. So that movement allows you to release the structure, but it allows me to draw the sword back into the center. Here, if I don't do that, it's going to kind of just float around the top. Yeah, and it's going to create tension in the shoulders and start to pull me out of the ground again. So allow the feet and the hands to release together. Right foot release, right hand. Left foot releases, left hand. So that you're practicing kind of supple handwork on the sword. So. Good. Good. So using that rotation now, but working with a number 4 as well. So do a couple of cuts, again, depending on your space. Generally do 4, but in this kind of tighter space, you're probably looking at 2 cuts, but working left side, right side. In this case, come back to finding the back each time. So you find the back, drop into the cut. And then when you get to the end, release it, drop into the other side. Yeah. So again, you can think of this like an extension of the connection we're used with number one. So number one's the easier way to practice this, but just look at this. As you drop into the cut, the weight's being transferred to the leg as I drop into the cut this way. So the strike's delivered here with the cut this way. With this one, the tendency in this is to do something like this. I drop the weight in and then I cut on that part. I drop the legs in and now I cut, I add it to this part. But look for a similar kind of coordination in this one. This explored a little bit, a bit further in number 5, but it's here in number 4 as well. So you want the weight to be delivered here, there, with the strike. And then the back legs come in to support you to take the next step there. So the strike, again, here's the same, this. So as the weight's transferred onto the leg, that's the strike. But don't, in this case, wait for the hips to land and now have the strike. It's a little bit of a different timing. So you're looking to basically press weight through the structure this way. Again, relationship to Taijutsu, if you think about Urumi now, you're any kind of group where I'm taking a step. I want the weight to be transferred here through it. And I don't want to kind of land the legs and now add the power. It's kind of creating a split in the connection. So look for, in this case, just kind of time where as I shift the weight, I'm striking. That's it. That's it. Good. So there's a simple exercise you can do to test this. This is just, you're just going to land the weight in the leg. So rather than land the back foot, you just shift into the front. And then you settle that back leg as after the strike, okay? It's not quite the time, but it just teaches this idea that you shift, as you shift the weight in, here. And then I shift it. So that foot's just here to kind of collect the body, or collect the back hip, so that I can pass through to the other. But the strike's already been delivered. So again, it's not waiting for that leg, landing the back foot and then striking. You want to have the sense that as you cut this, the weight's been landed here. So the weight shifted here to there. And then I just gently place that back leg here. And then I place the back leg. Yeah. Just play that a little bit. So you're on one leg. It's quite a tricky move, but it just gets this idea that you're working with that connection into it. Yeah, right. Okay, great. So take this into a number 5, working with the yokomen. The key difference now is rather than this kind of coming to the back 1, 2, you do make one movement of it. So you want to now feel that this connects into one movement. So it's one movement of the sword and one kind of step with it. So the key thing is bringing this all together here. Okay. That same kind of time, and I want the weight to be landed here in the foot. And then that foot's just here to kind of collect the body or collect the back hip. So you're looking for one smooth motion here. Here. So you've got showman cutting the rotation. But all the others are your pulling. And again, the main thing with this one also is this kind of scissoring with the hands or kind of softening with the hands. So in the same way, again, as you do with Zengo, it's kind of releasing the grip as you do it, or softening the grip as you do it. You're also doing it here as you do it. So you really need it for this one, because if I don't release the grip and I'm coming up to the top, this circular will just pull all the shoulders out. So it'll trap the shoulders and they'll start to kind of roll in and out of the structure. So you want the shoulders to be relaxing down as you do this, release the grip. So you want the shoulders to be really relaxed in this. So rather than these kind of movements happening, which is because I've got the tight grip on, I need to be releasing the grip to mobilize the sword. So again, it's this kind of motion that where you're kind of rolling the forearm, the wrist connection. But I need to basically release the grip as you do it. Otherwise, it's going to tangle the arms up as you do it. So as you do this, look for that kind of smooth quality. That's it. That's it. Nice. Nice. Okay. Okay, we'll just take this to number 7. So nice and simple. Coming up first to the top, so you're going to roll back, coming up, dropping into a yokomen, and then from here into the ski this way, and then just dropping back.
Ich habe eigentlich keine Zeit mehr.
You go up, show, right, engage into the yokomen, and ski. Up to the top. In. So, okay, good. Yeah, the key thing with this again is the flexibility with the hip. So what you want to avoid is the sword kind of sticking to the center. So something like this, and then this, it's kind of getting stuck. Again, these kind of positions will kind of tie the arms up. They don't allow the hips to work. So if I show from this angle, you want the sword to here. So it's on the left hip. And then I use that connection with the left hip and I draw the sword to the right, to the opposite hip. So you're using the connection to the hips in where we can kind of open the body out. So you're here, you find the 𝒂𝒂𝒿 here. It's just onto the connecting to the left hip. And then from here, use that, press the connection out and allow the sword to drop into the right hip. You can see that there. And then I give the sword the freedom to shift onto the side of the body. So you're working with this connection rather than that kind of connection where it kind of trapped. So allow the sword to pass to the other side of the body. So you draw back, you drop into the 𝒂𝒂𝒿, and then you roll the hip into it.
Okay.
That's it. Good. Nice. In a different movement in terms of the ski, you're also working a slightly different connection in terms of the delivery of the weight through the structure. So again, from here, this movement, you're delivering the weight into the front leg. So here, this movement. Now from here, the weight of the movement actually stays in the front leg. So the strike's actually delivered here in that movement, and then the body's kind of following through it. So again, you don't want, in this case, to wait, step in, and now I thrust with the back leg kind of landing. So again, this kind of, like, if you think about the application of this, if you look at so the kumitachi kind of work, it's basically where I get pressed in, and then I'm looking to go underneath and thrust into the person. So I'm driving myself from this connection to the ground. So my sword gets pressed down, and I use this connection to change the hip and thrust the sword through. And then the body's drawing into it, the legs are drawing into it to allow me to pass to another movement this way. But just look at this as you do it. It's a slightly different compression to the strike. This, and this. Yeah, and then the body comes through this way. Right.
Oh, really works.
In the last minute or so, just take the sword by the side, just work these connections through. So we basically done Shomen Yokominski in this kind of pattern. So we'll just do the same work with the hands. So there's some kind of classic examples with these positions. The first one's like Panahenko, so this kind of position. It's really like a classic Shomanichi position. So got the body open, and you engage in this kind of position. This weight through the body. Again, the weight's being, you're settling the back leg, and then you're dropping that foot in. This kind of movement. This kind of movement. This kind of movement. So you're settling the weight in. You're already grounding the back leg, and you're just sinking in that front leg. So releasing, pressing the weight in. Pressing the weight in. Pressing the weight in. Pressing the weight in. So. We go to the second one, which is a bit more like a 𝒂𝒂𝒿. So in this case, you're going to shift the foot in. So you're going to roll the hands like this, and you're going to press the weight into the foot now. You can also play with this with a step as well. But again, the weight shifting this is as that foot comes in. This, the weight's being shifted in. This, the weight's shifted in. Or you can do it with also just with a kind of slide as well. But the key thing now is that the movement there, the weight's landing into that front foot here. Into that kind of position, and you're working with an open hip now. So rather than that position that you have in 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕, you're working with that position here. So the back hip's a little bit more open. You're spiraling to the forearms. Step. Step, step, step. Yes. The last one we're going to do is more like a ski work, so it's a little bit like a movement that you would find in like an 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒃. The key thing now is focus on the weight here. So what you're doing is roll in the hip. Roll in the hip. Here, the weight here, and then I'm pressing through it this way. So you can think about this kind of movement. You can do this either side as well, so it depends on the technique. But the key thing is this kind of settling in the foot and it's rolling through the hip. Now the hand is working in this kind of movement. This kind of movement. So it's got more of a kind of piercing kind of quality to it. So the body's grounding down, and then I'm rolling through the technique this way. In terms of like 𝒂𝒂𝒿 with this, or think about like tension. But this kind of quality. Just shifting out and then rolling the structure through. And the connection is much further from the body now. You kind of vary the distance. You've got 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕 here is tight to the body. 𝒂𝒂𝒿's a bit more open, and then in this case more like a ski work, really open, connected away from the body. So the hip, you have to work kind of stronger to keep the connection in this case. That's Last thing, just play with these three. So you can do this either side and you can kind of mix them up, but just play with this 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕, release it, more of a 𝒂𝒂𝒿 kind of connection, release it, more of a ski kind of connection. Just mix them in. You can do this either side. You can add steps into it, but the key thing is just this kind of configuration between the hands and the hips. This.
Almost. Almost.
Okay, perfect. We'll start. Very good. Great. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Okie dokie, great.